Diamonds are forever. They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. I'm so stupid. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Adam Ratliff with Adam So Fun, and you are tuning in to part 1 of X. I don't know how many parts there's going to be, but this is part 1 of the December, or the, let's see, what am I going to call it? The Adam So Fun December Stitch Along, the So Fun Stitch Along, Quilt Along. How about, I don't know, I'm going to call it the December, I'm going to call it the December Diamonds Quilt. And I've been singing Diamonds Are Forever. I've been singing that song all day, like the last 3 days. But this is it. This is time for the Quilt Along. I made a major, like, cut once, measured zero mistake. And then I started making this video before December. My plan was to have it out on the 1st. And then I was over here like, oh yeah, and then... you don't have enough fabric. And then I started going crazy and getting really upset. And then I was sitting in an airport yesterday and was like, oh, they totally have enough fabric. So we'll talk about that when we talk about cutting. But this first video is gonna be like, hey, let's cut out the pattern. Let me show you how to use this ruler, because that would be nice. And next week we will piece it. So you have like 2 weeks to cut and piece and get everything done. You can piece it before next week if you want, but I give you 2 weeks. And then we'll load it up and stitch it. And you don't have to load it up with me. You can watch me stitch it. I think most of it will be done in one video. I'll let you know when we get to the stitching videos, because I actually have to load it up and stitch it. But this is gonna be the quilt. This is the December Diamonds quilt. I'll post a picture here. And that's the name of it. I hate naming quilts, but now it's named December Diamonds. And it will forever be the December Diamond quilt. And it really has nothing to do with December, although it's just the stitch along. But, well, I want to make a Christmas version of it. I really like it. I keep hunching. I don't know why. So, I use Elson glass. This is mine. This is my version of this quilt. So, if you are participating in the quilt along, if it is... Right now, it is December 2022. If you're watching this December 2024 and you like digging through the YouTube and you see like, oh, this is a fun quilt along, the pattern we're using is Diamond Daze by So Kind of Wonderful, and that's S-E-W, like Adam, so fun, so kind of wonderful. They have a bunch of rulers, a ton of patterns. I love them. I have been a fan of their stuff kind of since the beginning of my quilting journey. Their original ruler, the quick curve ruler, actually 3 quilts with that quick curve ruler were the first 3 quilts I ever made. So this is the straight, I keep calling it the quick straight, no, I call it the straight curve ruler, but it is the quick straight ruler. So this is the quick straight ruler that we're using. This is the Diamond Daze pattern. I modified this pattern to this. To the one there it is, sit up there again. I modified this pattern to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to take some of the blocks out, add negative space, so us as long arm quilters can go in and stitch in that negative space. We're gonna stitch some phantom blocks and we're gonna do some fun stuff. Now, if that is not the look you like, when I posted the picture of the quilt and you're like thinking, no, I don't like that, I don't wanna make it like that, that's fine. Make it any way you want. It's your quilt. I don't care how you make it. What we're going to do is I'm going to make this quilt, already did, like this. I'm going to load it up. I'm going to show you how I would quilt it and give you quilting ideas. You can go and quilt it off the way you want. You don't have to. You can if you want. I am going to be probably using mostly free motion, but there are places where for those of you who are like, oh, free motion, turn it off. Don't turn it off yet. I will show you how to do it with Pro Stitcher. Everything we do with free motion, pretty much you can do with Pro Stitcher, including the ruler stuff. So I'm going to show you how you can go and do that yourself with your Pro Stitcher when we actually get there and do the things. This month, the Quiltable Club is, I think, it's like $15 or $20 or $25. I don't know how much it is. But the Quiltable Club, quiltable.com, I'll link it below. Their December club is background fills, and they look like free motion background fills, fun, modern-y, kind of like the multi-element background fills. I am in love with it because I find sometimes when background fills designs, they just don't really look right. They did it right. These ones look so good. So I'm like, oh yeah, purchase, take my money. So gosh, I got a huge tangent, off on huge tangents. But if you are going to be doing it with Pro Stitcher, that might be a good option for your background fills for you to use in here because I think they're going to work really great. But you'll need the pattern Diamond Daze. When I go over stuff today and I'm like, okay, so you have these blocks, I'm not giving you any measurements. We're not cutting all the stuff. I'll tell you how they do it, but we're not doing it here on video. You got to buy the pattern. I'm not giving anything away for free. I'm very big on copyright. The second thing you're going to need is the So Kind of Wonderful quick straight ruler. You can't see, you can see it. I'm gonna think thin so I can have a washboard stomach. So this is what the quick straight ruler looks like. It's just a ruler with a slit in the center, and that's what we're gonna use. We're gonna line up our blocks, and so every block is gonna be cut the same. You don't have to think, you just have to line up corners. These rulers are fantastic. The other reason I really like their designs are a lot of you are very hard on yourselves, and you think that maybe you're not the best quilter or the best piecer. You might think your 1/4 inch is horrible. We are all our worst fans. We're our worst critic. If you are one of those people who feel like you're just not the best piecer and something like this scares you, I'll post a picture. I think there's probably a glare, so I'll pop a picture of the quilt. This scares you. It is so easy. It is not hard. And the best thing about these rulers is you cut your pieces, you slice it, you get your new pieces, you sew them together, press it, and then you put it back on the ruler and you trim it up. It is a trim up pattern. So that means that all your blocks might be different sizes, but you're going to put this on there, you're going to trim that block to the exact size, and then every block is the same. So even if your quilting is not the best, this helps you become a better quilter because we're going to trim it up. We're going to square it up before we actually piece it. So you need the pattern Diamond Daze by So Kind of Wonderful, and you also need the quick straight ruler. The thing with their rulers too, I'm going to come over here really quick. The thing with their rulers too is that they, this is a relatively new ruler. So it comes with a pattern. It comes with a twisty cross design pattern with it. You have the Diamond Daze pattern because you'll have bought that, but they will continue to release patterns using this ruler. So this is this one's called Vintage, and it's not tumbling blocks. It's like double tumbling blocks. I don't even know what this block is called. I probably should. I'm a quilter. But so I'm going to make this, and I actually have this stack of fabric that I'm going to be using. These are some hand dyed. They're not cherrywood hand dyed. They're I think Robert Kaufman hand dyed. Oh my gosh, they feel like butter. So I'm going to make a bigger version of this because I want something I can throw on the couch out of these. I'm so excited because it goes so fast. This system goes really fast. The slowest part is squaring it up, which is the best part because then it makes sure everything's correct. So I really like their rulers. If you have questions on the other ones, I have them all. It's the quick curve, the mini curve, the wonder curve, quick straight. So, but I'm a big fan of So Kind of Wonderful. I will link the ruler and the pattern below in case you haven't been following me on social media and haven't seen me talking about it. I just love their stuff. They're great. They are great. The girls over at So Kind of Wonderful are fantastic. And thank you for letting me use your pattern in my quilt along. So I have the pattern. I'm not going to tell you what it says because, like I said, you need to buy the pattern yourself. But we're going to put those aside. I'm using Allison Glass. I've had this forever. I've had it since I started with Handy Quilter. So I've had this pattern for this fabric for 3 years. I'm using low volume for my background and then these brights for my top. And we have the quilt behind me. So this quilt, I think there's 36 large diamonds, 36 small diamonds, something like that. I'd have to count it to be totally sure. What I want to do is I wanted to take some of those pieces out And instead of having a diamond like right here, you'll see this big blank spot. A small diamond should be here, but I wanted to be able to stitch some negative space. I wanted to make some stuff. I wanted to be a long arm quilter. So I left this piece out. I pieced a new block here. So when we talk about cutting, or how about we just do that now? Because the thing I did, but the benefit of this is I made everything and then I started pulling pieces out and making other pieces so I could come and tell you what you need to do. So this is important. I will have a blog post, hopefully it's not going to be when this video posts because I haven't finished writing it. But within the next week I'll blog posts about this and then piecing and everything. And then when we start stitching, I'll put a blog post because I'll create a stencil for you. So you can, when we go and we actually stitch that negative space, we have some stencils. I'm going to be using a stencil on Pounce Pad, and I'm just making my own stencil. I'm going to print something out on a regular piece of paper, stitch it on my domestic machine with no thread. It gives me some puncture holes, and then I can use that with my Pounce as my stencil. But I will give you those so you have those... So you have the stencils too, so you can do exactly what I'm doing if you want to. If you want to try to create this yourself, feel free. You can make whatever you want. Again, it's your quilt. Make whatever you want. Make these blocks yourselves. I don't care. You do you. But that stencil's not going to work. You can still kind of do the same thing. I'm basically just making a stencil of this block and of this block, and then that's what we're going to use. But I created everything, so I have these extra blocks here. If you are going to take pieces out of your quilt, I took out 5 large and 5 small. So I have 5 extra of this, and I have 5 extra of this. I took them out because I wanted that negative space. If you are going to do that, you need to not create these blocks or you're not going to have enough fabric. You can still cut out all of your colors if you want, because then you'll have a little bit extra to mix and match things around. If you want to make these blocks all one color, that's great. Do that. Again, your quilt, you get to do what you want. I'm not big on fuss or on scrappy, and this is scrappy for me. Although it's still one fabric line, this is scrappy for me. It was not easy. My brain is like, oh no, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. I finally had to walk away and just say it is what it is and start sewing it together. But in your pattern, for your background pieces, you're going to have large background pieces and you're going to have smaller background pieces. Yes, so you're going to have large background, you're going to have small background. And they're actually, the pattern has you get 6 different background, or not 6, 10 different background colors. And you'll split them into a group of 6 and a group of 4. For every diamond you take out, so let's pretend we're just cutting the large diamonds. I took out 5 of these. So for each background piece for each diamond I take out, I need 2 more background squares. So when you cut, because like I said, you're going to have large and you're going to have small. This is the large, this is the small. When you cut, for every diamond that you take out, you need 2 more pieces. So you either need 2 more large ones or 2 more small ones, dependent on the diamond that you take out. There should be enough fabric. I took out 10, and there's still enough fabric for me to get the necessary number of pieces. Because you'll need, I took out 5 large, so I'll need 10 large, and I took out 5 small, so I'll need 10 small. You need 2 more background pieces for each one you take out. I hope that makes sense. If it does not make sense, check out the blog post when it posts, or send me a message and say, that just doesn't make sense. So in the directions, it says we need 30, how many do we need? We need like 36, 46, we need 54 background squares. You're gonna have 54 large ones. If you take 1 diamond out, you now need 56. You have to add 2 more background pieces. So I hope that makes sense. Same thing, doing the same thing with the small one. So keep that in mind. That's the big thing. If you're going to take out, because you're going to need to make pieces, you're going to need to make blocks that are going to be the filler block for this. We're going to make blocks that are the same size. So just keep that in mind, okay? So you're going to cut your background pieces. I have my backgrounds. And then you're gonna cut your foreground, your color, your accent colors. The pattern calls for 16 different colors. I use 16 because I had it. Again, your quilt, you can do whatever you want. You can make it so scrappy that I would never even know what colors you picked. It doesn't matter. So I have my backgrounds, I have my accent colors, and I have my large accent colors. So I have the small ones, large ones, large ones. The pattern's gonna tell you, pick some colors and match them. So let's say I have red and green. I just pulled some Christmas fabric out, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I love this. I think the red and green looks so good. So now I'm gonna make a Christmas quilt. So I have all my blocks. Everything's cut. Next step. So we're doing like your cutting instructions. Then the first step, we need to pair them up. And we're gonna use 23 large blocks and 23 large block pairs, 22 small block pairs. So it says to pair them up, and in this case, they're just gonna be red and green. And then background pair up. In mine, I used on my actual blocks the same background color. I didn't switch it. But for my my phantom blocks, my negative space blocks, I did use 2 different colors. It's up to you how you want to do it. That's just how I did it. But it says to pair them up and position wrong sides together. So I'm putting my wrong sides together. And you're going to do that with your backgrounds and with your accent fabrics. All right, so now I have my wrong sides together. I'll move these out of the way. All right, so this is where the fun part comes in, and this is where I actually get to use the ruler. So on this ruler, there's some heavier, darker lines that are marked, and those represent the corner of your block. So we're getting our large pieces. I'm going to center this, and I'm going to do it on the darker one, and then I'll do it overhead so you can see it on the lighter one. I'm going to center it between the block corners that the pattern says. Get my rotary cutter, and I'm just going to cut up this slit. Done. That block is cut. And now I have my pieces. And I have 4 pieces. And when I put these together, it creates my diamond shape with the colors alternating. So now I have my beautiful Christmas diamond laid out. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I want you to be able to see how I'm doing this. So I'm going to move the camera so you can see this at a different angle. Give me a second. All right, so here we have our block. Here I have the ruler. You'll see on the ruler, there's some darker lines, and I'm going to line the corresponding lines up with that block. Rotary cut, and I just have my corners, the dark corners, rotary cut, and Shazam. Now I have my block cut. On the smaller blocks, make sure you're following the diagram. We're doing the same thing. We have made our pairs wrong sides together. So I have my background blocks, wrong sides together. I am looking at the diagram where it's telling me to line everything up. This one's a little bit different because you're going to eyeball that 1/4 inch on the outside, line everything up, and slice. Now I have my 2 pieces for my background small block. And on this one, on my background focus fabric, I'm following the directions, lining up those corners like I need to. Lining them up right, like I need to. And cut. So quick tip, when you're using this, if you have some washi tape, you can put some washi tape on the ruler on the lines that you're using when you're not using these blocks. Because the first time we actually used the corners of the blocks, but on the next ones we used the actual placement lines So a piece of washi tape just right next to the line that you're using, then you always have your place marked. But now we have our blocks done. This is where it gets confusing because you're like, wait, no, that doesn't feel like it should go there. I'm very visual, so I cut and then I come back and lay everything out and then I start stacking to sew. So now I have everything cut here and I have my, my large block here. All right, everyone, so that is week 1 of the quilt along. You are just going to get this stuff cut out, get your pairs matched up, and get ready so you can start stitching. If you want to continue along stitching, go right ahead. It's your quilt, you do you. We won't get to stitching on the long arm till probably week 3, just so you know. But yeah, this is giving you some time to get everything settled. If you cut, because for each, I guess I didn't say this. For each diamond you cut out, or that you leave out, so for each one of these small squares, you can leave out 2 different cuts for that small accent fabric. So if you need 6 cuts from one color, and you're gonna leave out 1 diamond, then you take two of those cuts out. I would take them out of different colors, and so you're not just leaving one whole color out. But that, I mean, again, it's up to you. If it were me making it and I was you at home and I was like, well, what do? I would cut all of my accent fabrics. You have blocks. I mean, you can do something with those blocks. And the reason for that is that it gives you more ability to mix and match. So you can, if you don't like one color combination, if it's just not working for you, you have more of maybe one other color that you can use instead of just cutting how much you need. And I think you already have a few over. You're gonna have a few left over with all your cuts. But however you do it, it's up to you. But if you leave out some diamonds, you don't need those accent colors. You still need the background colors. So if you're basically, you are replacing accent with the background. You're not going to cut them. You're not going to cut your backgrounds. That's the other thing. You're not going to cut your background pieces that that you've made for your negative space blocks. You're only going to cut the pieces for your diamond blocks. The negative space blocks aren't going to get pieced with that diamond. We're going to leave this just solid rectangles. So when you have like this, like for instance this, I have 4 rectangles that I sewed together. I made a 4 patch. That isn't really because it's a rectangle. Can you have a 4 patch rectangle? I'm not really sure. I don't know. Do they have to be squares? Somebody let me know in the comments because I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I think I thoroughly confused you. I confused myself, but to me it makes sense. So I hope I didn't confuse you, but some other videos I make, I confuse myself and people are like, oh my gosh, you explained that so well. Sometimes I just can't explain it. But this is it. If you have questions, email me or message me. That's why you get 2 weeks to do it, so you can get all your questions answered. If everybody has the same question, I'll just probably pop up a video and try to explain it better. But go to town, get your cutting done. If you are not sure, again, if you're not sure, send me a message, email me, message on this video. Do whatever you need to do to make sure you're getting it correctly. But you're going to have your regular diamond block. You're going to have your small diamond block. If you choose to elect, you're going to have some negative space diamond blocks, or negative space just blocks of large and small stature. I don't think I made any extra small ones. I knew I was going to take out 5. I'm looking through all my extra blocks over here. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I think I might make a runner or something. But you'll have the extra pieces here and the extra pieces on your small. Remember, every diamond block you take out, you need 2 more backgrounds of that size. So if you take out a large, you need 2 more large backgrounds. If you take out a small, you need 2 more small backgrounds. And I would, if you are taking them out, if you're like, okay, Adam did 5 and 5, I want to do 5 and 5. I would also match them up when I'm going through the matching up process. So you don't have like 4 of one color left over that now has to be a block of itself, or 6 of one color left over or something. You want to make sure you get all those matches good. And I kind of just laid my matches out and went through. So I made sure that no two big diamonds were alike and no two small diamonds were alike. I think I did have mix and match within there. Like there's a small diamond and a big diamond that match, but that was okay with me. So thank you for joining me. Make sure to follow Adam So Fun on Facebook, Instagram. That's with the SEW. I hope I didn't confuse you. I hope you're excited about this. I was super excited about it. I might not look excited because I'm kind of confused. Because I've confused myself. I just want you all to have a good time. I can't wait to get to quilting this. I think we're going to have 1,000 beautiful December diamond quilts. If you're all great. If I get 100 likes, I'll sing some more. How about that? But it's not hard. It looks a lot harder. It's more confusing when I'm trying to tell you. Again, if you're confused, message me. I want you to have fun. At the end of the day, it's just quilting. We want to have fun, even if we're confused. So I might get to stitching. I want to stitch these. Oh, I'm not going to get to stitching. I'm going to stitch them when we actually go to the machine. But I might cut a few more of these because this is just extra fabric I had. So I might cut a few more of these and make a little Christmas runner too. Oh my gosh, things to do. I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week for another video in the this series, the December Diamond Quilts. And next week it'll be on time. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye.